afternoon. I am Rafael, and today I am going to be performing my Book 4 violin recital, premiering live on YouTube. I am so excited to perform this recital, which consists of 6 pieces from the Suzuki method and 1 non-Suzuki piece. We are also going to include a few other string players in some of the songs, which makes the sound more fulfilling. I have been playing the violin for 5 years and have studied with 2 instructors. Even though this is a Book 4 recital, I will be doing 3 songs that are not in that book. I am feeling excited about this recital and know that finishing Book 4 takes me into Book 5. And since there are 10 books in the Suzuki method, will have me officially halfway done from graduating this program. I hope everyone that is watching enjoys this recital and that it brightens your day. I am now going to perform my first piece, the Concerto No. 5, Opus 22 in D major by Friedrich Seitz.
Well, congratulations on getting to this point in the Suzuki method, Rafi.
Thank you.
What's been your favorite part about being in the Suzuki method?
I just really enjoy playing the violin, and I enjoy this method because there's some really amazing songs that help you learn so many new things, And some of the songs prepare you for other songs, which is convenient and is really nice.
So tell me a little more about that. You said that some songs prepare you for other songs. Can you give me an example?
Well, sometimes there's a really hard part and you're like, this is super hard. And so you finally get it, and then the next song has the same thing and you're like, oh yeah, this is the hard part, now it's super easy for me because they've prepared you for that.
So the method is laid out in a way so that one piece teaches you something, preparing not only to finish that piece, but to get ready for another one.
Yes.
And what was the very first piece you ever learned?
Twinkle,
Yeah.
Little Star. They all start, every Suzuki student starts out with that song.
And how long did you stay on Twinkle?
I can't remember, I think quite a while.
It was a long time.
A long time.
But you learn a lot in Twinkle, don't you?
Yes.
What are you most looking forward to today in the recital?
I'm just looking forward to playing, hopefully making everyone who's watching their days better, and making them happy, and hopefully they enjoy it.
And do you enjoy playing for other people?
I do, yes.
So when people come over to your house, do you play?
Yes, I do.
I know the answer to that, but yes.
I
yes,
do, yes.
Sometimes I have to say, okay, last song, right?
Yes, you do.
About how long have you been teaching in the Suzuki method?
Oh my goodness. Wow. 'Cause I started back in 1980. Actually, that's when I started. But I haven't taught the entire time. I did take a break from teaching for a little while I was raising my children. And then I started teaching again. And so it's been a long time. You want me to give away my age here?
Not necessary, but how long? So did you grow up learning?
I grew up in Suzuki.
You grew
so
up?
I started out, I was in one of the first waves of Suzuki in 1960s. My mom had all of us. There was 9 children in my family, and all of us took some kind of music lessons. And most of us started on violin. I'm just the only one who stayed with it. And actually, when I was 5, she made me quit because she said I wouldn't practice. Can you imagine that? At 5 years old. So, and then when I was in the 3rd grade, I begged her. I went and begged her and my dad if I could start playing again. And they let me start the violin. So I've been playing ever since. And then when I got in high school, I begged them to let me stop. And they said, okay, you can stop if you stop this and this and this. In other words, they weren't going to let me quit playing. And I'm glad now that they didn't, because it just ended up being my life, playing the violin and teaching the violin.
And how many students do you teach a week?
Right now, over 50.
Oh my gosh.
I have over 50 students starting this fall. So it's going to be a very interesting fall. And it just started yesterday.
You've worked with Rafi for 5 years. What's different now than when he started?
Came in doing book 1 pieces. What was it, Song of the Wind? Or?
Yes.
What I see different about Rafael is that he is much more adaptable to things. He kind of surprises himself sometimes, I think, of how well that he does things. He doesn't expect it to be that way, but he really has a real knack for playing the violin, and he has a lot of help and encouragement at home as well, so which helps. And he practices a lot, and I really think in some ways he's really starting to love the violin. I felt for a time with him that maybe there was a little resistance to really wanting to love the violin, but I really see it and hear it in his playing, that he does love playing the violin. So, and he's starting to learn things like the positions and how to use the positions. And the big thing for me was his use of the fourth finger, because he always wanted to do open strings and no fourth finger. But now he's starting to even do that a little bit more. So it's been really a wonderful journey with him. I kind of think of as I go through these books with the students, that it's like, they're like chapters. And I've gone through, 4 chapters now. We're on our 5th chapter. So it's interesting to see how they change during that course of time.
What are we going to hear next, Rafael?
The Vivaldi Concerto in A minor, which consists of 3 movements.
Tell me about each of them.
The first one's very fast and exciting. The second one is largo, which means slow and very beautiful. And then the third one kind of tops it all off. It's beautiful and very fast and exciting.
Well, we look forward to that.
Yes,
and we
thank
also
you.
have some other players that are going to be playing with you as well. And so this is a concerto from what period in music?
The Baroque period.
The Baroque period. So what is a concerto?
It's a solo instrument with an orchestra.
Mm-hmm. So since we're having orchestra players, we don't have a full orchestra, we just have a few players,
Yes.
but it's going to be a nice feeling of that. And I'm also going to use the organ instead of the piano, so it gets a nice, rich sound to it.
Yes.
And there'll be times when you play solo, but there's also times where you're playing along with other players at the same time.
Correct.
So, well, we look forward to Vivaldi Concerto in A minor.
Thank you.
today's concert that you have found especially challenging to learn?
Well, the meditation from Tice, which is the one non-Suzuki piece, is harder because it's actually a book 6 piece, and I'm one book behind that. It's not like in book 6, but they called it, if it would be in a book, it'd be in book 6.
And what is so challenging about it? Can you
Just the shifting, and there's a very, very high note that gets into 7th position, which is one of the highest positions that you can go on the violin. So that's hard to
about
find.
where you put your hand up on the string, right?
Yeah, it's like the farthest you put your hand on the string, and then the lowest would be like lower notes.
So for those who don't really understand, if you hold down on the violin lower, it's a lower note, and the higher you go up.
Yes.
So there's positions all along those.
Yes, so the lower that your hand is positioned, the lower the note's going to be, and then the higher your hand is positioned, the higher the note is going to be.
So the one part of the Suzuki method that I am a real big advocate of is the Suzuki triangle, which is the teacher, student, and parent. And in Rafael's life, he's had a real great example of that in working with his father, Robert, and with Raj. Raj has been a big support. Robert works with Rafael like all the time, and almost to the point I think sometimes that Robert just wants to send him off to work on his own. But this is a real good example. This family is a real good example of the Suzuki triangle.
What's it been like for you to have a parent, being me, your practice parent, who's also a musician?
It's been super nice to just have an accompanist that I can just say, hey, let's practice this song, and then he'll be like, okay, let me finish this, or we can do it right now, just so I don't have to like go anywhere or listen to a piano accompaniment while I play.
Yeah, you have not only a built-in practice parent, you have a built-in pianist, yeah?
Yes.
And I enjoy playing with you. So you've also learned some other things that are not a Suzuki method, as you've said, and we're sitting here in a church, and you've played a lot for church. What's that like to experience?
I really enjoy doing it. I like playing for anyone. It's been nice and an honor to play to church because everyone at church really enjoys when I play, so I like to make them happy.
That's a great thing.
Thank you.
Blaise, as we near the end of today's concert, for those that are watching, whether they're musicians or non-musicians, Suzuki trained or otherwise trained, what would you say about what they're hearing or anything you'd like to share about this experience?
Well, first of all, I hadn't seen Rafael for several weeks before you put this together. And just to come in and hear how well he was playing everything, and I won't say he felt totally confident, but you could sense a certain confidence that he hadn't had before. But the memorizing of the pieces was a little challenging, but he really did a very nice job, and especially coming in just playing this for the first time with a group. I mean, that can be very nerve-wracking, and he handled it very well. In fact, I think by the end of it, he was feeling very, high and mighty about it. It was kind of fun. He realized how fun and exciting it was to play with a group like that. So that was fun to see.
So your last piece today, would you tell me about it? And it's a big piece in Book 4. And tell me a little bit about it and introduce it.
It's the Bach Double, which I believe I will be playing with orchestra players. It's really huge. It's obviously the end of Book 4. It's a song that gets a lot of attention, that a lot of people play, and it's a big concert piece.
So when it's called a concerto for two violins, and so we often call it a double concerto.
Yes.
So can you tell me a little bit about what we're going to hear? Who's playing the other part?
My instructor, Mrs. Poth.
Yes. And so you start out playing, and then what is she playing, and how are your parts and her parts different?
Well, sometimes kind of think of it as melody and harmony. Sometimes I'm kind of playing the melody, sometimes she's playing the melody and I'm playing the harmony. They kind of switch, and then there's a few solos in there, just like a few bars of solos. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of melody, harmony, switching.
And are there times, I'm guessing, that you all are playing together a lot of notes at the same time?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Is that fun?
Yes, very fun.
Well, it's fun for me at the keyboard too.
Yes.
This is a piece that I really had to practice because it's also very hard for the piano. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, thank you for your playing and all of your hard work, and congratulations on this milestone in the Suzuki method.
Thank you. Enjoy, everyone.
Rafael, I just want to let you know how very proud I am of you as you've gone through this journey through Book 4. It has been quite a nice traveling trip, don't you think?
Yes.
And also beginning Book 5, and I'm just so proud of you, and I want to congratulate you on graduating from Book 4.
Thank you.